Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, Kotu residents continue their support for the council youth space. The Te Whakapuna Health Trust are fundraising for new dialysis machines, and we preview this weekend's Baywide Premier Rugby games. Those stories and more coming up next on City News. Kotu residents are still backing the Rotorua District Council youth space at Karenga Reserve. Earlier this week, a community meeting was held at Waikiki Clubrooms to discuss future plans for the youth space. Council Coordinator Jill Campbell says the community see the need for places kids can play. She says the council will continue to consult with the community throughout the park's development.
So we don't want to do this in isolation. We want to be working together. And we have had conversations with the organisations that are in the Kotu community. We are actually looking at sport and recreation programs on these spaces after they're completed. But again, we won't be doing that in isolation. It'll be with the community. People we spoke to at the meeting are positive about the youth space. However, safety of young people using the park is a concern.
Oh, kia ora. Well, I think it's going to be good for not just for the Kotu area, but all of our children around that can come, and enjoy the facility that's going to be there eventually. At the moment, it's one big mess.
I think it'll be a good idea for the youth, to get them off the street and into something more productive. With recent times, though, it's been at the other skate parks. There's been a little bit of trouble around those areas, so it may pay for a little bit of security around there as well, just to keep an eye on things, make sure things are going smoothly.
The Te Whakapono Health Trust is fundraising for new equipment for the dialysis unit, which the Trust also helped to establish. Te Whakapono Health Chair, Philippa Wills, says new units cost $35,000 each, so the Trust is fundraising to buy as many as possible. She says the Trust is fortunate to have partnered with a local couple who've created a stunning local cookbook that the Trust is using to raise funds. Philippa Wills says the recipes in the Volcanic Cookbook have been contributed by local celebrities.
People like Buck Shelford has given a recipe.
Bring back Buck?
Yes, exactly, he's back. And a few other people, June Grant, Charles Royal, a lot of wonderful people in Rotorua have contributed to the recipe book. And then Gerhard Egger has contributed a whole lot of wonderful photos of the area too. And it's very distinctive Rotorua. You open the pages and you know that that's your home, that's where it's originated.
The Te Whakapuna Health Trust will have an information stall at Kurau Market tomorrow morning. The Rotorua Model Aircraft Club is holding their stunt and team racing event this weekend. Event organiser David Thornley says the control line stunting and aerobatic model flying competition is on tomorrow, with team racing on Sunday. Pilots will be competing for the highest accuracy score and, of course, bragging rights. The event is open to the public and is at the club flying site in Mead Road. In sport tonight, Rotoiti and Whakarewarewa are in the top four of the Baywide Premier Rugby competition. However, this weekend's draw sees both teams up against the other top two contenders. Our rugby commentator Trevor Albert says he's picking our boys to win.
The heart is with Rudity for this weekend to take Tauranga Sports out at Emery Park. That would push their standings up a lot more. And the heart says Waka down at Waka on Saturday, but the Te Puke Sports are a very strong side, and Waka have got a lot of injuries. Waikiki, they've got Te Puna away at Te Puna, and that's going to be a hard game for them.
To the weather now, Rotorua, brought to you by Trevor Robson's Signs and Graphics Limited. Tonight, fine weather, southwesterlies freshening, an overnight low of 4. Tomorrow, Saturday, earlier showers, then fine conditions, westerlies easing, a high of 15 and a low of 6. The outlook for Sunday, becoming cloudy with a chance of a shower, northerlies developing, a high of 16 and a low of 8. And the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for tomorrow, southwesterlies to 15 knots, easing to 10 knots during the afternoon, waves less than half a metre, and good news, a fine day. And if you missed any of tonight's bulletin, you can catch up by going to tvrotorua.co.nz and click on the View Latest City News link. Or to view what's on in our city, click on the Upcoming Events link. Coming up after the break, Philippa Wills tells us about the new fundraising project by the Te Whakapuna Health Trust. Fraser Newman has book ideas for Mother's Day, and Don Patterson has his favourites for tomorrow's Rotorua Cup. It's coming up tonight in City News.